All right, let's watch this one right here.
Okay. How dare you come here, sister? After our cries for aid went unheard, unanswered.
So this is Elune.
I heard your cries, felt your pain, and in the wake of tragedy, sent forth a cascade of souls to sustain you. Oh, the great tree. All who perished there were claimed by the Maw. Then I have condemned my favored children.
What
By our hand, we may yet guide their souls unto their spring. Starting with this one.
Tyrande invoked me. She must choose. Vengeance or renewal.
Why'd that happen? What's this? What's the rock? What the hell is that? It's a tear of Elune? Oh, yeah, of course it is, right. Oh, and she doesn't have the same fucking face mask and shit. Look at that, because she had like all this stuff on her face and now she doesn't have it anymore. Like, what is this thing here? Like, listen to what she says here. I'm confused about this.
Tragedy sent forth a cascade of souls to sustain you.
So how did Elune send forward the souls that died in Teldrassil? Does that mean that she caused Teldrassil to happen? Like, I'm so confused about this. She let it happen. So we don't need no fire, let that motherfucker burn? So you're telling me that it was an inside job? Really? Like, it was an inside job. She could have stopped Sylvanas. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of, like, you know, whenever in the Bible, it's like God has to send a sign to the people. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go find a crazy sheep herder and I'm going to talk to him. No, I'm not. I mean, you know, I could just come down and have like a global revelation and just tell everybody, no. We're going to whisper in the ear of a crazy goat herder and tell him exactly what God wants everybody to know. Like, what is this? It's like, the logic behind the actions just is completely Elune. It's just doesn't make sense. Yeah, so Tyrande has to forgive Sylvanas? Like, I don't know what to say. Like, what do people say? I want to read the comments of this, okay? Give me a second. Sylvanas burnt Teldrassil. Sylvanas raised Zero and Sivir. Blizzard, it's Elune's fault. So Elune sensed there was something wrong, so she sacrificed her favorite children, only to be told that they all went to the Maw. She knew something was wrong, but she didn't know exactly what was wrong. I'm a little confused. Elune says, in the wake of tragedy. That strikes me as she tried to direct the souls where she needed after something horrible happened, but it failed because what the jailer was doing. No, because she said that before the Winter Queen told her that they went to the Maw. Doesn't even make any sense. Somehow I feel like if Elune did what was the same as Illidan, sacrificed his moon guard to defeat the Burning Legion, Black Recold, even the goddess of the moon imitated it. No, but that's the difference. Here's the difference with Illidan and Elune. Illidan won. Remember that? Illidan won. Sargeras is in jail. Yeah, the music was great. Some of it was good. Like, yeah, sure, I get it, but I don't know. I feel like it's just every cinematic causes more questions than it answers. And I do think that with retail WoW, this is something that they've, I think, kind of fallen a little bit behind on. And the way that Final Fantasy tells stories is, I think, much more, it's much easier to understand and it's much easier to do than if, let's say, I guess I can just use what I said before, right? I wanted to like talk around it and not use the same example that I used before, but Final Fantasy tells the story in tweets and WoW tells them in Twitlonger. And the reality is that people don't want to read a tweet longer. They'll read a tweet because it's like only 2 or 3 lines. They're like, okay, I see this, and then I move on. But whenever you see like this giant block of text, you think to yourself, fuck this, right? I don't want to do this. And so that's the way I look at it. Yeah, the WoW devs are basically the people that put the paragraphs in chat. And it's like, this is a very, very well thought out paragraph with like capital letters, periods, sentences, structure to it, proper nouns that are capitalized. And then it's like, so yeah, sorry about it. Well, actually, that's and that's it. That's the whole thing. It's gone. And it's gone in just a few seconds. And this is the way that people look at WoW Quest. Am I wrong? Is that, like, if they had that for WoW Quest, is that not what you would fucking do? No, I think that absolutely is. Like, you probably read, like, the first 3 lines of the quest, and then you say, fuck it, and then you read the bottom of what you're supposed to do, and that's about it. And I do think that, like, overall, the Shadowlands storyline, let's talk a little bit about the Shadowlands storyline. I think that the Shadowlands storyline is unironically pretty good. Now, in my opinion, I think the best story is by far the Bastion one, because it actually has nuance to it and it's interesting. Where, like, people are, like, forgetting their memories, and the enemies in the Bastion, like the Forsworn, don't necessarily, like, yeah, they made them evil, which I thought was stupid, but, like, really, it's just a different perspective, because I do think that, like, the way that Shadowlands Bastion, like, has people become Ascendants is oppressive. 100% it is. And I was really disappointed. I'll be honest with you guys. In Shadowlands, the fact that we killed Devos, who, by the way, was, like, in my opinion, the Bastion, Kyrian, the Warbringers cinematic that they had with, like, Uther and Davos and the Archon, where, like, Uther throws Arthas into the maw, that was the best one they've ever done. There was nothing else that was even close. Like, obviously, some of their, like, full production cinematics are better. But I mean, like, in terms of that type of cinematic, I think that it was better than Ursoc. It was better than, like, the Elune one. It was better than any of them. And it was better by a fucking mile. Like, the fact that you can do that much character development in just a small window, that was actual expert, like, brilliant storytelling. And the fact that they took that character and they killed it in a 5-man dungeon is a fucking tragedy. It's absolutely a tragedy, and I'm not just saying that because she's hot, okay? I think that it's also true on its own. Ashara Warbringers was cool, but, like, it was an 8-minute cinematic that told 2 minutes of story. Whereas, like, the Uther cinematic is a 5-minute cinematic or something like that told 20 minutes of story. That's what I think the big difference is. And the WoW storylines, in my opinion, I think do in a lot of ways suck. Like, I will be honest, they suck. There's these, like, obvious, like, but what abouts, or, well, what ifs, and then you don't really understand these things because they're in, like, these super arcane places that you don't know where they are, and it's just very confusing for an average player, man. I will never serve. Yeah, I think that's the best example. Sylvanas, oh, well, she's serving the jailer, and we will all serve death in time, but I will never serve, and then she's doing everything for him, but she's not serving him. Like, just... stop. Like, this is just, it's confusing. Like, what the fuck do you mean she's not, like, what are you talking about? Like, she's not serving the jailer. It's like, this is what I said before, right? Sylvanas is an elf. You understand that? She is an elf. And I understand, you know, Fingalfallen or whatever, and the Silmarillion went 1v1 with Morgoth. Yes, but he lost. Number one. So yes, elves are not completely powerless. However, in the vast majority of times, elves are fucking powerless. You are literally going up against a guy who is named Death with a capital D. And you think this is a partnership. This is the same as cashiers at Walmart have the little thing on their name tag that says Walmart partner. Bro, you're not a partner with Walmart, okay? You are a minimum wage employee. This is the relationship that Sylvanas had with the jailer, okay? This is the same relationship that a fucking cashier has with Sam Walton or the people who run Walmart. That's the way that I look at it. It's just completely fucking ridiculous. Yes, they're part of the team, etc. It's just pathetic, okay? It's absolutely fucking pathetic. So, in my opinion, I thought that the entire Sylvanas arc is just, it's just so bad. It's so bad. And then also on top of that, the reason why it's really bad is because it's unfulfilling. Like, for example, like, even if you feel like you're telling a good story, if nobody likes it, maybe you're not telling a good story. You know what I mean? Like, nobody fucking likes, it seems like nobody likes the story. Overall, all I'm saying is that Final Fantasy tells their stories in a much more comprehensive and complete way. You don't have to read a book. You don't have to read weird types of, like, oh, you have to talk to this NPC that's in the corner of the bar to understand why this cinematic happens or something like that. You get all the information given to you throughout the entire quest, and it's very well designed. Okay, it's digestible, exactly.